Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from the 38th and the 39th verses of the 7th chapter of the first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. The 38th verse, Pratishrutam cha bhavata panchalyai shrunvato mama aharishye shirastasya yaste manini putraha. The meaning of this verse is, Krishna is telling Arjuna, furthermore, I have personally heard you promise Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. This was what Arjuna had told Draupadi when Draupadi informed Arjuna that Ashwatthama has killed her 5 sleeping sons. So what was it that Arjuna had promised? In the 16th verse of the same chapter, Arjuna had said, O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahmana, after beheading him with arrows from my Gandiva bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head. Arjuna was very angry at the act of Ashwatthama killing the beheading, just cutting off their head when they were sleeping, the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, totally against all principles of Dharma Yuddha. And so, if Arjuna had promised to Draupadi, that's what Krishna is reminding Arjuna. I have personally heard you promise Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. So now, Srila Prabhupada explains the purport. An enemy who sets fire to the house, administers poison, attacks all of a sudden with deadly weapons, plunders wealth, or usurps agricultural fields, or entices one's wife is called an aggressor. Such an aggressor, though he be a Brahmana or a so-called son of a Brahmana, has to be punished in all circumstances. So there's no question of sparing an aggressor. He has to be punished. When Arjuna promised to behead the aggressor named Ashwatthama, he knew well that Ashwatthama was the son of a Brahmana. Arjuna was quite aware. Who is Ashwatthama? He is the son of Dronacharya, son of the teacher of Arjuna. But because the so-called Brahmana acted like a butcher simply cuts off an animal which is meant for slaughter. So this Ashwatthama acted like a butcher. Therefore, Ashwatthama was taken as such, and there is no question of sin in killing such a Brahmana's son who proved to be a villain. So there is no sin involved in killing an aggressor. Atatayi. Now, Krishna will use that word Atatayi in the next verse, 39th verse. Krishna says, Tadasau adhyatam papa Atatayi Atma bandhuha Bhartuscha vipriyam vira Kritavan kulapam sanaha. the meaning of this 39th verse. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Assassin and murderer. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burnt remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. So this is Krishna's instruction to Arjuna. That Krishna is telling this Ashwatthama, he is a murderer of your own family members. He has also dissatisfied his master. Who was Ashwatthama's master? It was Duryodhana. And when Ashwatthama revealed to Duryodhana that I have killed, and Duryodhana couldn't understand. This Ashwatthama has not fought against them and killed them in a fair battle. He has killed them while they were sleeping. So Duryodhana did not approve of this heinous act at all. Duryodhana was totally dissatisfied with this. He said, "You have not done the right thing." So therefore, Ashwatthama is described as the burnt remnants of his family. He is completely degraded himself. Shamelessly has degraded himself. Therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna, kill him immediately. He deserves this kind of punishment. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, the son of Dronacharya is condemned here as the burnt remnants of his family. How is Ashwatthama the burnt remnants of his family? That's explained by Prabhupada. The good name of Dronacharya was very much respected. Although Dronacharya joined the enemy camp, the Pandavas held him always in respect, and Arjuna saluted him before beginning the fight. There was nothing wrong in that way. Fighting on the opposite sides. Arjuna is obviously on the Pandava side, but Dronacharya, he is the teacher of Arjuna. He is on the side of the Kauravas, the enemy side. But still, Arjuna never lost any respect for Dronacharya. Neither Dronacharya was having any inimical feeling towards Arjuna. That is explained by Srila Prabhupada in another discourse. Prabhupada says, Dronacharya, the teacher of Arjuna, is on the opposite side of the Pandavas. So, Dronacharya had to be respected. And Arjuna did that. How did he do that? Before fighting with Dronacharya, Arjuna first of all threw one arrow on his lotus feet, indicating, I am paying my obeisances to my teacher, my guru. This is called etiquette. My dear sir, Prabhupada explains, you have taught me this fighting science, Dhanurvidya. Now it is being used against you because it is my duty to fight in this Dharma Yuddha. So I offer my obeisances. As a Kshatriya standing in the battlefield, how did Arjuna offer obeisance to Dronacharya? By shooting one arrow at the feet of Dronacharya. And Dronacharya also, he is the military teacher. He is standing ready for fighting against the enemy on the Kaurava side. So what did Dronacharya do? He threw another arrow, touching the head of Arjuna. My dear boy, become blessed. You have my blessings. That was Dronacharya indicated to Arjuna. And Srila Prabhupada explains this is duty. Now, how is Dronacharya blessing Arjuna? By killing. You are given blessings to kill me. Will anybody bless another person that you kill me? No. But this is in the matter of performing duty of fighting Dharma Yuddha. This is called the Dharma Yuddha. Why? Because in a Dharma Yuddha, whether one is victorious or one is killed, either case they are elevated to a higher status in their next life. That's why Dharma Yuddha is duty. Fighting in a Dharma Yuddha is a duty of a Kshatriya. That's what Krishna explains, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Swadharmam. It is your Swadharma as a Kshatriya to fight in this Dharma Yuddha. The disciple is fighting, touching the feet of Dronacharya. It is my duty. And disciple is telling the teacher, please give me your blessing to fight. And Dronacharya, he is telling, yes, you have my blessings to fight in this Dharma Yuddha. So, continuing the purport of Srila Prabhupada, but the son of Dronacharya degraded himself by committing acts which are never done by the Dvijas of the twice-born higher castes. Who are the twice-born higher castes? The Dvijas or twice-born higher castes belong to the first three Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. They are the first birth from their parents, and there is a second birth. How is the second birth possible? By accepting the spiritual master as the father and Vedas as the mother. Veda Mata, Guru Pita. During the second birth, which is meant for beginning the learning of the Vedas, they go to Gurukul. In the Vedic culture, they are sent to Gurukul to be trained up. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they are trained up by a qualified teacher, qualified Brahmana. This is called cultural purification, samskara. Sanskrit is called samskara. It's cultural purification. Human life is meant for purification. So, even by performing samskaras, this purification happens. The scriptures declare, Janmana jayate shudra samskarat dvijam uchyate. So, by birth from parents, everyone is born a Shudra. But by spiritual initiation, one becomes a Dvija. That initiation happens when one goes to a Guru and submits to the Guru, I am your disciple. Please accept me as your disciple and train me, teach me Vedic knowledge. So continuing the purport, Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, committed murder by killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi. This murder. This is not like a Kshatriya fights in a Dharma Yuddha and kills the enemy. It's not like that. In that there is no sin. There is no, it's not to be considered as murder. Fighting in a Dharma Yuddha. But here, the sleeping sons of Draupadi were killed by Ashwathama. And by this act of killing the sleeping sons of Draupadi, this Ashwathama dissatisfied his master Duryodhana. Duryodhana never approved of the heinous act of killing the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. Now, Duryodhana also was fighting the battle of Kurukshetra following the principles of Dharma Yuddha. This explained earlier by Krishna. Mattam pramattam unmattam suptam balam sriyam jadam. Suptam means sleeping. One who is sleeping is not to be killed. So therefore, Ashwathama became an assaulter of Arjuna's family members, and thus he was liable to be punished by Arjuna. And therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna, now you must actually kill this aggressor Ashwatthama. You should kill him. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.